if you don't have notebook paper, a sheet of paper to write down some notes on, you might want to grab some real fast while I give this testimony from what happened with me this past week. So I went to visit my grandbaby, and on my way back home, I was driving down the road, and I saw a police officer come in to enter from the feeder road onto the freeway. And it was a 55 zone, and I was going a little over 55. I don't even know what I was going, but not that much over, but I was going over. So he stopped me, which I figured he was, and I was kind of like, yay, I get to check out my paperwork and see how that's working. So as I pulled over in the little drop slide of your car where everything falls when you don't want it to and you can't reach it, that's where I keep my paperwork. In a brown envelope. And I pulled out my documents and I had them in my lap with my authenticated birth certificate and all of my status correction documents. And he came over to the window and said, he looked at my registration first and my inspection sticker, and it was expired because I can't, sorry, but I'm not renewing, sorry, not sorry. Not renewing that because that's entering into another contract with a corporation that I'm not willing to enter into because I have a right to travel, which we're going to go over. And then he said that I was, going over the speed limit in a 55. I don't think he quoted the speed. And he asked me for my insurance and driver's license. And he asked me also, what do you have in your lap there? And I said, I'm an American national. I have my American national paperwork and I have my authenticated birth certificate. And he said, are you going to hand that to me? And I said, that depends on where we're going with the traffic stop. And he said, no, ma'am, you can keep that and you're free to go. So the paperwork definitely works in those situations. And that's why I was saying last time we had a live and I was talking about correcting your status and why it's important. You don't have to have it done to do a 1099A because a 1099A has been done by corporations for years, for many, many years. It's a public document, but it helps you in those types of situations. And there's power in your paperwork. Okay. Having paperwork to back up who you are is powerful. And without that ammunition, you have nothing but stating who you are, but there's nothing expatriating you from what has entrapped you and enslaved you into their system, which is the birth certificate. And if it's not authenticated, which I feel like is your most important thing to do, because it's your highest authority to be able to say that I'm a living person, I'm a living soul and not a dead entity, then for those reasons, I think that it's very important to expatriate from the fraud that was placed against you and your mom or you and your children by not giving us full transparency when we sign our kids over.